The SACP in KwaZulu-Natal has lashed out at the ANC, suggesting that the governing party has poorly handled the coalition discussions. The Communist Party has also condemned the collapse of the ANC-IFP co-governance agreement. Our reporter, Nkosikhona Duma, is at the SACP headquarters in KwaZulu-Natal and joins us live. Nkosikhona, a very good afternoon to you. I understand that the SACP has accused the ANC members of being out of reach. Talk to us about that as well as some of what came out of the briefing today.
Good afternoon, Tammy. Well, indeed, that was the sentiment that was raised by the SACP here in KwaZulu-Natal, suggesting that one of the reasons the ANC performed poorly in this year's local government elections is because of what's called the social distance between the electorate and the leaders. The SACP has also, noted poor service delivery as well as infighting within the ANC that has contributed, of course, to the demise of the ANC, particularly here in the province. As you know, Tammy, the ANC is finding itself in a very difficult position. Its core governance agreement with the IFP has collapsed, and since then it has lost various municipalities that it had a chance of governing again following the local government elections. But let me not waste more time. Let me just go and talk to Mr. Themba Mthembu. Of course, he's the provincial secretary for the South African Communist Party. Mr. Mthembu, your assessment of these particular elections, you don't have kind words for the ANC.
Yes, as you know, we are in the forefront of canvassing for the African National Congress. While there are many reasons that have been put forward for the drop in the support of the ANC, we strongly believe they don't actually zoom to what we receive from the people themselves when we're doing door-to-door. And we strongly believe that are the real reason why we might have a drop. There is a drop in the support of the African National Congress. Amongst them, they said we are fighting together and we are forgetting to attend to our needs. That's what the people were saying. They said there's a large neglect of servicing of the people. All what they are hearing from us is that we are deeply involved in acts of corruption. This is what the people were telling us, you see.
Well, Mr. Mthembu, let's talk about the collapse of this co-governance agreement with the IFP. We know that that agreement collapsed because, unlike what the ANC had promised, that its members would adhere to that agreement. We saw what happened in Abaqulusi last week where the ANC contested the IFP, and now you are now reaping the rewards of that because you're losing municipalities. You've lost Richards Bay, Umhlathuze, Newcastle, and Dumeni. Some are suggesting that we had a good chance of winning these particular municipalities. What is the way forward then for the ANC, given the fact that it keeps on failing?
First of all, let me say that the agreement collapsed because of what happened in Vryheid to us so far is a hearsay. But let's say it did happen. We strongly believe that the agreement that was reached by the ANC and the IFP was the most patriotic agreement ever. And also it was an agreement that was carrying the interest of the people and peace at heart, particularly in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Now that such an agreement that carries the weight of a national importance can be sabotaged by some ill discipline somewhere in Vryheid, is most unfortunate. It doesn't look to augur well with the commitment to have people at heart and the peace at heart. So it looks like somebody was waiting for a fault to happen and then to renege.
Well, maybe the suggestion is that the ANC was not committed to this particular plan at all. Isn't that maybe, can that be the case?
Let me put it this way, to be frank here. It's not a matter of the ANC was not committed or the ANC cannot be trusted. As far as we are concerned, as the SACP, it looks like there were elements on both sides who were not committed to this agreement.
Mr. Mthembu, I'd like you to explain that, because it appears that that agreement failed, particularly after the ANC's action. Now, to add the IFP and seek to blame them as part of this, explain the thinking behind that logic.
I'm saying an ill-disciplined, somewhere in Fryhead, cannot topple an agreement that has been made by the national leadership. That's what I'm saying. If there were some act of ill-discipline, not respecting the agreement, that should have been treated in isolation, where it happened. But then that you just respond in a blanket manner, then raise many questions.
Mr. Mthembu, we have limited time, but I just want to ask this. What is the way forward then for the alliance, given the fact that the ANC, which of course is, giving you so much power as the South African Communist Party, as an alliance partner, you have influence through the ANC. What is the way forward? Because it appears that your strongest, partner, the ANC, appears to be fumbling its way in these local government elections, and actions that have been taken have not been working in its favor. What is the way forward from the SACP's perspective?
We hope that this has been a lesson to those who were thinking that it is now time even to ignore the alliance, as was put together by the Tambos, the Mandelas, the Hanis, the Moses Mabhida, Moses Kotana of this world, because they have seen the importance of having the alliance to address all the ills of our country, to unite the people of our country and bring about democracy. Now, what we need to try and embark on is to unite the alliance, is to put the interest of the people, particularly the working class, at the center. If we are failing to do so, even as the South African Communist Party, we need to go back to the drawing board.
Well, Mr. Mthembu, I think that's just where we're going to leave it here for now. Tammy, that was Mr. Themba Mthembu. He is, of course, the Provincial Secretary for the South African Communist Party, reflecting, of course, on the events of the past elections. The ANC, as we put it to him, that it appears to be fumbling its way in these in post-election discussions, and is saying that the solution going forward is, of course, uniting the alliance. They're saying that for some time now, the alliance, particularly the SACP, has been ignored. It's not, of course, what he's saying can also be backed up by recent, things that we've heard, even from some members of the ANC, who suggest that the SACP does not really bring any value to the party, because it also does not have a lot of money or membership. So Mr. Mthembu is suggesting that that kind of thinking must be reviewed going forward if the ANC is to be saved at all.
Nkosikhona Duma, thank you very much for that update. He comes to us from the SACP headquarters in KwaZulu-Natal.